I'd normally never go back twice. Right? But there is just something about you girls. You can't get rid of me. I literally felt like I got to come to a reunion without the quacked aunt there. You know what I mean? It was awesome. I'm so glad to be back. I've loved, actually, these last couple days just getting to hear some of your stories. I wish I could just even actually bring you up and let you jump a little bit up here and get uncomfortable and share your stories. I want to empower you to never stop sharing the things that are happening in your life, because they matter. Some of you heard me speak last year, and I talked about how my husband Bryce and I, which I brought my hot, he's right up there. Brycey! We started sponsoring some kids, like most of you probably do, over in Africa. We spent the little $25 a month. We got a little boy for our son Blake, and a little girl for our daughter Brooke, because we wanted to teach them how blessed they were living in America, right? So I paid the money, and one night I was having a party at my house, and a woman in my neighborhood brought a chick I'd never met. And she pointed at my refrigerator and said, "You fell for that? How do you know those kids aren't 40 years old and they're just taking your money?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, what's your name? Can you get out of my house?" No. Really, I said, "I'm sorry, I guess I'm just having faith that the money's getting there." Negative lady. And so I went to bed that night, and I go, "Bryce, honey, I need to go to Africa. I want to find where our $25 a month's going." That's what he did. He's cool, less than $3,000, Shelene, so you can find out. I go, "I'm serious. What if it's fake and we're telling our children we're sponsoring these kids? I could be paying for some guy's Porsche." And he's like, "Why don't you settle down? You don't even own a passport, Shelene, okay? Like, the biggest place you went was the day spa called the Four Seasons. Like, settle down." And I go, "I'm serious, Bryce." He goes, "We'll get the information." So I got all the shots, the passports. My parents came down to watch our two little kids at the time. And the night before our trip, my husband gets deathly ill. Yeah, exactly. I go, "Suck it up, babe. You gotta make it to Heathrow." You know what I mean? He's like, "Honey, I can't go." And I go, "It's a sign. We're gonna die in the plane and leave our two kids orphaned. We're gonna try to find these kids that are 40 in Africa." And he goes, "Shelene, you're not sick. You need to do this." And I'm like, "You're gonna send your only wife to the other side of the world? Like, who's gonna carry my luggage, Bryce, you know?" And he goes, "Honey, I'm serious, you need to do this." So you gotta understand, I told no one we were coming, because I was gonna be Diane Sawyer. I was gonna like bust this thing open if it was fake, right? So I woke up the next morning and I ripped the pictures off the refrigerator, and I flew from LAX to Heathrow and Heathrow to Entebbe, and I showed up in this little village called Gaba after being in coach 24 hours. And so I was a little cranky. I was cranky. So I walk in and I'm like, "Hi, I'm from America and I came to meet my two children, AR212 and GR479. Where are they?" And this gracious woman gets up and she goes, "Okay, follow me." I'm thinking, great, let's get some action done over here, right? 2 miles later, I'm thinking, why did I drop out of that kickboxing class? She hikes me into the back lot of one of my movie sets. It was like mud huts with a bad-looking sheet for the front door. And she goes, "This is Omega's house." And that's a little girl in my refrigerator. She goes, "Go ahead, go in." And as I pull this sheet back to go inside, this little girl darts at me and she goes, "Mzungu," which means white, okay? But at the time, I'm thinking girlfriend saying like, "Angel, this white girl just dropped from the sky." And I didn't recognize her, ladies, because she had like grown from her photo, and I go, "Omega?" And she goes, "Yeah." I go, "I'm Shelene." She goes, "I know." And as I was hugging her like I would my little daughter Brooke, I'm thinking she's real, you know? And then my eye catches the Christmas card photo of my family embedded in my wall. And I'm thinking she's been getting my mail. No, actually, I was thinking my mother-in-law doesn't put up my picture. I'm like, wow! So I'm like, "Honey," I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, "Listen, I got an American Express card. Like, I'll get you anything. Like, what do you want?" And she gets this big smile on her face and she goes, "I'd like a bed." And I'm like, "Cool. Where's Target Jungle out here?" So I took her and Alanis, we call him Al, our little boy, into Kampala. You got to understand, in Uganda, 80% of the population is under 20 years old. It's like Neverland over there. So I took her into Uganda, into Kampala, and I bought them beds, sheets, a mosquito net for the malaria, a blanket, and a pair of shoes for $20.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, we're all over here. Who wants a bed? You get a bed! You get a bed! You want a car? Get a bed! They were $3 a bed. So I went back and did an HGTV design on a real dime to her village, right? I'm passing out beds, I'm hanging mosquito nets, and I'm thinking, if my girlfriend's back home in Los Angeles, if they knew I'm skipping a manicure, pedicure, seriously, like painting your own nails, and I'm keeping this kid alive, fed, in school, they'd skip it. See, this time on this trip gave me a perspective. These 10 days in Uganda gave me a perspective with no cell phone, nobody texting me, no emails. These 4 days for you guys, just taking a moment to get out of the chaos for a second and regroup and reset on what God has planned for your life. Because for me, I don't know when comfort and safety became my number one priority, but it had been paralyzing me. Like, I was paralyzed by it. It was crazy. So when I got back, my husband and I started an organization. We saw the little PSA called skip1.org, with the dream of getting everyone on the planet to skip one thing once in your life for the sake of someone else. Skip a latte, a lunch, a pack of gum. And our promise will be that we will give away 100% of the proceeds. There's no but after that. If these kids are dying because of food and clean water, are you kidding me right now that I'm going to buy a paper clip with your money? We're not. 100%. See, I believe that what matters most for me is living a life of love. And for a lot of my life, I loved people that loved me. I was a mover and a shaker. I started my own business at 16 years old out of my bedroom, and I had to share my bedroom. We had a Jack and Jill room back then with my baby sister, who's 5 years younger. And in the house back then, there was only 2 phone lines. Anyone remember those days? 2 phone lines in the whole house. And so I was running my company, California Coupons. It was a direct mail advertising business. You know, you buy one, you know, pizza, get one free, or get your film developed. So I had this coupon book that went to 20,000 homes in my neighborhood. And I would get all the different businesses to advertise in, and I'd mail it out. My biggest problem was my sister, get this ladies, she would answer our phone line, hello. Shanda, you need to answer the phone, California Coupons. She goes, no. My friends are calling me from junior high. I'm not answering California Coupons. I go from 9 to 5, you answer that phone, California Coupons. My mom's like, Shelene, Shanda, get in here. Listen, Miss CEO, you're supposed to be cleaning the downstairs of the house every weekend, and your sister's supposed to be cleaning the upstairs. And that phone line is attached to the wall to my house that I pay for. So if that doesn't get done, nobody will be answering the phone. I go, Mom, I've got it covered. The house will be cleaned this weekend. So the next day I hear my mom, we're Italian, she's like, Shelene, get down here. So I go downstairs and the door's wide open, the front door. She goes, who is this? I go, oh Mom, that's Molly Maids. Come in, ladies, 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 ladies. I'm busy, right? The best part of it is my baby sister staring at the top of the stairs down at me, and I look up and I go, Shanda, would you like Molly Maids to come upstairs and clean the upstairs of the house for you every weekend? And she's like, yes. And I go, California Coupons. My first employee, right? So when I tell you that I thought the movies I was making and the big budgets I was getting and the titles that I was holding was my identity, it was only a matter of time till that self-destructed. This is what I love about 31 Gifts. This company is huge, and it comprises of so many different people, walks of life, religions, faiths, beliefs, nationalities. Amen! With one common goal, to be wise women who build our house, not foolish ones that tear it down.
Come on.
See, what matters most is the life of love we lead, not lip service. Don't tell me you love me ever again. Just show it, right? Don't tell me you love me. And I walk into the bathroom every day, Bryce, and I go like this. Pick up your underwear and put it in the hamper. Show me, baby. Show me. Pick it up. And he goes, no, honey, you're showing me every time you go like this and pick it up. And then you pick it up. See, there were 6 things, and I'm convinced that every person in this room was called to live a life of love. And some of you, that means loving yourself. Like, Shelene, how can I love someone else when I don't even love who I am right now? Because you're fearfully and wonderfully made. That's why. See, before I speak, I have to ask myself a serious question. One of my mentors said, Shelene, before you take a stage any size, I don't care if it's 2 people or if it's 2,000 people, do you even love the people you're about to speak to? And this is why I was so excited to come out here today, because I actually love each and every one of you. And it's not because I personally know you, so don't think I'm being fake up here, because I don't do fake. But I know who created you. And when I say my husband and I prayed over every seat in this arena when I did my sound check, I am not lying to you. That is not lip service. I believe there's a divine appointment, that there's no coincidence you're here, that God is actually going to shift the atmosphere today in your lives, in your businesses, in your marriages, as a mom, in your community, and you're going to knock it out. Woo! You know that. These 6 things for me were so crazy because I was reading Matthew 25, and you know, last year I talked about getting out of the boat and walking on water, and some of you came up to the store, to the early book sign, and you said, Shelene, I got out of the boat. I'm walking on water. And you get out of the boat this last year? Like, I'm going to get uncomfortable. Yes, get a little uncomfortable, walk on water, do things that have never been done in the history of the world. And then there's this verse as I'm saying, God, what do I share with people? Some people in here don't even believe in you. That's okay. I remember when I didn't. This verse in Matthew 25 says, and they will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you? And he will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you didn't do for me. Do you want to know the life of love we're called to live? The life of love we're supposed to be spreading to each other? It's found in these 6 things right here. Feed the hungry, give water to the thirsty, love a stranger, clothe the needy, love the sick. I've heard about some of you in here battling cancer, surviving cancer, found out your kids had cancer, sickness going on, and to visit those in prison. And I had to ask myself, Shelene, how much time do you spend doing these things in a week, in a month, this year? How about in your lifetime, Shelene? How much time have you spent on those 6 things? You see, girls, I used to do things, especially when I was producing in Hollywood. I would do things for people who could do something for me. It's so embarrassing to say out loud. It doesn't even sound good coming off my tongue. You take me to lunch, I'll take you to lunch. But when was the last time I did something for somebody who could never repay me? See, I turned this sucker into a checklist. I might give that homeless guy a shirt, threw that sandwich to him, did that teen prison ministry, check, check, check. God's like, Shelene, this is a life list, not a checklist. Do you want to live the life of love that I've created for you? Do you want to live the adventures and journeys that I prepared for your life? You got to do these 6 things. You wonder why people are depressed? They're living for themselves. Because the moment I started doing something for people who could never repay me, it completely changed on the inside. I got a new heart. I got a new vision. I think sometimes we need to remember, ladies, we need to be eagles, not the crow down here picking everything apart. Let's get up. We want to get above it so we have better vision. See, that trip to Uganda gave me vision. See, I believe that there's things happening and we're missing them. I think we call them coincidences. Or we say, you got lucky. That was really cool, you got lucky. See, I'm not arrogantly a Christian up here. I want to be really clear about something. I'm not a religious person. I suck and need a savior.
Well, what did she say?
See, I had to start modeling love because God put me in charge of 2 children that I would die for. Any other moms in the room like that? I knew once you become a mom, you're willing to die for someone. My husband should take the bullet for me. So men, hop in front of your wife. But the kids, I'll go down for my kids. I feel loved. I feel like we're like having like a little lunch right now and everyone's just leaning in and I just want to hug all of you. My heart, I have so much I want to share. And I want you to know like I'm being completely transparent about it. You see, in writing Ridiculous Faith, my new book, God took me on an ark-building, sea-parting, lion-taming adventure that left me in awe of the creator of it all. I thought Love Skip Jump was all about my comfort and safety and getting out of the boat, and God says, I'm not even through with you. Because I need you to share this. Because I was so busy trying to become a woman of faith. And I'm like, where's the bigger faith store, God? Where is it? Because to be honest, in 2016, I haven't seen any sea-parting, ark-building, lion-taming. Anyone else? I go, I don't see those things, God. And he's like, because you're missing them. So in writing Ridiculous Faith, God reminded me of a story that I wrote about the Watsons. 2016. This couple went to Cornerstone Church with me, and they had a beautiful daughter. They met in college. To describe them, they're huge basketball fans. Bruce was actually in college on a basketball scholarship. He cut the guy, he bleeds purple and gold. Go Lakers, right? And they get married, they have a child, and then they can't get pregnant again. They have a beautiful little girl. So they keep trying, and in the meantime, they think maybe we should be adopting a child. They're like, no, we don't want to. We want a little boy now that looks like Bruce. We have a little girl that looks like Jamie. So they go, I know. I heard that when couples fill out the paperwork for adoption, they get pregnant. So let's do that. So they fill out all the paperwork. They kind of throw a dart at the world, and it lands on Ethiopia. And Jamie goes, I didn't even know where that was on the map, Shelene, but I thought, cool, we'll adopt internationally from Ethiopia. They fill out all the paperwork and keep having a lot of sex, no baby. What a really good marriage. Amen, honey, I hear you. And so sure enough, they get the call. Mrs. Watson, this is the adoption agency in Addis Ababa, and we have our youngest referral. A 24-day-old baby boy that was left in a trash dumpster outside of a police station. He was left to be found. I'm sending you his picture right now. See, I don't believe in coincidences, ladies. That moment, she goes, her daughter Sabrina just happened to be homesick from school that day. Her daughter's now 12 years old. Yeah, they have a long time trying to find that baby. And her husband calls him at work and says, you need to get home, Bruce. We have a little boy that's going to come through the internet any minute. He's like, I'm on my way. So sure enough, Bruce gets home on his lunch break. All 3 of them gather around the computer screen. They click on the little link and it pops up. And they feel nothing. Just a sickly, 24-day-old baby boy. She's like, what are we supposed to do? And Bruce goes, I don't feel anything. She goes, Bruce. He goes, what? She goes, zoom in on that blanket. I said, okay. So he moves the mouse, clicks on the blanket, and up pops a purple and gold Laker blanket. Wrapped around this little baby in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So the movie producer and me, right, if you guys just want to indulge me for a minute, goes, how good is God that he would have this purple and gold blanket 21 years earlier arrive at the dry good concession stand of the LA Forum, the home of the Los Angeles Lakers. And some dad picks up the blanket to take home to his newborn son, and they wrap the little baby in it, and the dog Duke bites a hole in it, and mom would sew it up, till over the years, she finally donates it to the Salvation Army. And somewhere this unseen hand of God takes that little blanket and puts it on a rusty shipping container in the port of Corpus Christi, Texas. Texas in the house? And that little blanket, somehow this unseen hand makes it go up the Gulf of Mexico, through the Atlantic, around the Horn of Africa, through the Indian Ocean, and docks in Somalia. And somewhere this unseen hand takes that blanket and puts it on a truck headed to a refugee camp that's handed to a young mom who's in a desperate and dire situation. Here she is with a 24-day-old baby. She's surrounded by daily death. She can barely feed herself, let alone this new baby. So she wraps this little baby in this blanket with letters stenciled in English that says Los Angeles Lakers that she can't even read. And she places him outside of a police station where the cry of that newborn baby is heard by a police officer who takes it to an adoption agency. But not just any adoption agency, the one that's 3 miles further away that happens to be a Christian adoption agency. And as this agency takes the baby's picture and the heartbeat, you see those letters on that blanket were not meant for any of these people to read. No, that message was a clear message for this young family 13,000 miles away that God knew at this very moment would be huddled around their computer screen, unsure and undecided about this adoption thing, with a clear message that said, this is your son, and this is my plan. See, I believe that there are messages happening in our lives right now, miracles going on right now, and we are so busy that we miss them. I don't even know if I would have noticed the blanket in the picture. I'm like, Jamie, it was just ridiculous. See, God wants to move mountains in your lives, ladies. He knows the plans he has for you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future, amen? That's you. That's a promise to you. He doesn't love the Watsons any more than he loves you. See, instead of looking at each other and going, wow, Shelene, you have a great story, or wow, the Watsons have a great story. Your story's not supposed to look like ours. God's a creator, not a duplicator. He's got a story just for you. See, I think what matters most is a life of love we live, and we've heard this theme over the weekend. It's people over parties. But is it really? See, there's something more valuable than our resources, meaning money, and that's 86,400 seconds. See, the time that we can give to each other is the most loving thing anyone can give to share with me. Because no matter where you are or where you've come from, we all get 86,400 seconds. Rich, poor, tall, thin, it don't matter. Unless you die. Then you might not get all 86,400 seconds, you know. But how are we living that? How are we living that life of love? How is that love when we love someone so much that it actually splashes over onto everyone around you? And I feel like that's what Scott and Cindy have done. These people are the real deal. My husband even flew out. That's how much he loves these people. I mean, when you love someone like that, it splashes over, and it's splashed over onto you and the people that God has put under your charge. And I want you to love them as if you were exiting here. Because if the person next to you just told you that they were just given 30 days to live, you would love them a little tighter, a little closer. See, there's a very famous verse in the Bible for people who know you read the Bible, they know this verse. They hold it up at football games. The guy's got no shirt on. He's usually fat with a beard. It says John 3:16, right? And I was reading this the other day because I had to learn that verse as a little girl going to Sunday school to win the candy. Because the Lord, I win candy. You know what I mean? I'm so motivated by food. Anyone want to go to lunch after? So when I was reading this verse, these 3 words stood out to me in a way I'd never noticed before. And these words were that he gave. Shelene, if you want to know how I want you to love people, it's that he gave. Right. And before anyone in this room goes, she's talking about money. No, I'm talking about your time.
Right.
Your time is the most valuable thing you have.
Yeah.
That 86,400 seconds, that's the most valuable thing you have. And what we put into other people, ladies, is the only thing we can take with us. That's it. See, I love this verse, and if you know it, I want you to say it with me right now, and I want you to hear it with fresh ears as if you've never heard this verse again, emphasizing on those three words, for God so loved the world that he gave. Why did I miss that? I jumped those three words every time I would say that verse. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. If that doesn't matter, I don't know what matters. That matters. I don't know why I have notes. I don't. And my husband taps them for me. Christ, thank you, Penny. No. Kendall was 4 years old when she collapsed in her dollhouse in the backyard. And her mom and dad rushed her to the hospital to find that she had a rare kidney disease. Her blood wasn't filtering. She had really rare antigens in her blood, and she was immediately put on a donor list. And they said she basically had 2 years to live unless she got a match. So they called aunts, uncles, friends, neighbors, everyone, but because of her rare blood, she wasn't a match for anybody. Mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts and uncles. She's on the donor list. 1.5 years has gone by, and it doesn't look good. And the doctor said, have you ever thought about testing Kendall's 8-year-old brother, Kyle? And they're like, yeah. Well, this would be about the time to try it. Because it doesn't look like the donor list is going to come through. So they explained to Kyle that her sister needed a kidney and that he might be a match. And if he was a match, would he be willing to give his kidney? And he said, yes, I don't want Kendall to die. So they took him in and they did the blood test. And as you would have it, this unseen hand of God, right? All 6 antigens in Kyle's blood were a match for his baby sister. And so they scheduled surgery, and they took Kylan first to harvest the kidney, and then Kendall to implant the kidney. Tensions were high, as you can imagine as a mom or a dad in this room. And as Kyle woke up, the doctor said it took beautifully. The mom went in to see him, and he starts smiling, and she goes, honey, the doctor said everything went well. And he goes, Mom, is Kendall gonna live? She says, yes, she's gonna live, Kyle, thanks to you. And he goes, that's so good, Mom. And then he just bursts into tears. She goes, honey, are you in any pain? Like, what's wrong? And he goes, no. She goes, well then, honey, what's the matter? And he goes, well, I just was wondering when I was gonna die. She goes, oh, Kyle, you're not gonna die. He goes, I'm not. She goes, no, sweetie, you have 2 kidneys and you only need 1. And he goes, I do. You see, even a love of a child knows that in order to love someone, you gotta give. I think we hold on to our stuff so tightly, ladies, thinking it means something. When actually, when we let it go, God can place in it what he really wants to give you. Last year I was here and I shared with you about my refrigerator kids, and some of you had to sit through that story again at the beginning. I apologize, but I wanted to share it with the ladies about Omega and Alonis and how that changed my life and my lens. Someone had told me 20 years ago that I would now be speaking, not only meeting Omega in person, speaking about her and writing books. I go, you're crazy. But I made a promise to you ladies. I said, when I come back next year, I will bring some refrigerator kids so that you can take home a little boy or a little girl and start loving the least of these. Because I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. So in section 116, I'm out there with my new book, Ridiculous Faith. I would love to meet each and every one of you, and I have a flight tomorrow now, so I'll stay here till midnight. We can do a carbon picnic. I'm all in. I'm done speaking. I can have carbs now, so let's see some pizza. And I have my friends from Compassion here. And you can leave here today and say, I'm going to step out and skip it. I might skip a lunch this month to keep this kid alive. I'm going to choose to skip something and save a child's life. You see, I'm not worried that anyone in this room is going to fail at anything. We are the 1% that get to live in America. My fear is I don't want you to succeed at something that doesn't matter. Thank you for having me, ladies.